first.
ahead.
Okay, hello, my name is Cole Foster. I am a sophomore at Assumption College. It's in Worcester, it's a small school. I am a vocal scholar, so that means that I am in the chorus, and I'm also in a smaller group with only vocal scholars. It's called Voce. I'm also in an a cappella group called Hound Sound. And my transition from high school to college, it has been honestly amazing. I couldn't have asked for a better experience. Like, it's been fairly easy. Luckily it was good for me, but it was just getting involved right away. That was how you find the people that you are going to have your college experience with, and that's the best way to do it. Just get involved right away, and that's how you're golden.
Hi, I'm Allegra Pericles. I am a junior at UMass Amherst. I am a art history major with an education minor, and I have been in the trombone studio at UMass, I've been in the symphony band, and I mostly do marching band. And my marching band experience has been great. It's 409 people strong at the end of the year. It was 415. And I was really nervous to go to UMass. I wasn't sure I would like it, but because I joined the marching band and I had the trombone section, which was 36 other like-minded individuals, I had friends of all majors, they really helped me feel at home and made that big school feel small. And they gave me purpose, and now I'm also the merchandise manager for the marching band, so it's this like a volunteer job that I get with the administrative staff, and I have my own office as well.
Okay, I'm Mark Volkin. I'm a freshman at University of Rochester, a chemical engineering major and a economics minor. So I'm in the symphony orchestra at Rochester. It's a pretty big group, and I auditioned in fall. I think I was very well prepared for Medfield. It really felt like the next logical step, like almost as if like going to the next school, obviously a little bit bigger, but I was very well prepared, and it's really helped me assimilate into the school. Like I've assimilated in high school where I started meeting people from different grades. I'm meeting people from being seniors, grad students, all through orchestra, and I've become good friends with like my stand partner, and it's been a great experience.
Okay, so when you look back at your time here at the high school, what benefits, can you talk a little bit about what benefits did the music program provide? Did you ever take a break or think about taking a break from the music program, and what kept you going if you did? And what was
Okay, I never thought about taking a break from the music program. The Medfield music program has given me so many opportunities because I picked up the silly trombone in 5th grade and outlasted everyone else in my grade who played it. I got to go to New York City, which I had never been to before. I went multiple times. I definitely reached my musical peak in high school. And I've been to China and New Orleans, which led me to being comfortable enough to try the marching band at UMass, even though Medfield is more of a jazz school and we don't really do a lot of marching band. I felt comfortable trying that in college, and that eventually led me to being part of the Pasadena Tournament of Roses parade in California this past New Year's. So that was the 2018 parade, which was insane. And it was 5 miles and it didn't feel like it because there were just people along the whole side. I think the best part about being in band, though, from middle school to high school, was knowing that in band you had all these people who wanted you there, and you had a lot of other kids of different ages and different grades who wanted to mentor you in different classes as well. Like if you were thinking about taking APUS, but you weren't sure, there was definitely someone in band taking that because you know that all the kids in band are doing well in school anyways. Because band makes you smarter anyways. Yeah, I definitely think that band did some good things for me attention-wise, because I'm not the only person who struggles with attention, and being part of music has taught me to maintain attention for a long period of time, so I didn't really need to address my ADD, so it was definitely a good thing for me there too. So the mentoring from other students, the amazing opportunities that I've had just to go places, and this room where I called home, I definitely turned in one too many reading passes, during like high school. I would just come here and eat my lunch instead because it was just so loud in the cafeteria. I would definitely stick with the music program all over again. I never had a moment of doubt.
Cool.
So for me, as anyone knows, I'm not really a sports person, so music was kind of my way to kind of like be a part of a team in a way. It's a different type of team, but it taught me how to work well with others. It taught me how to just let others just be collaborative and just be able to work off of each other. And it's one of those experiences that you don't get a lot from like just your classroom and everything. This is like one of the places that you actually get to like grow in that sort of aspect in your life, just like being able to work with others and making something that all of you just like love to do. And it's a great thing. And Medfield taught me a great like just foundation, and also just giving me experience to be able to do all of this stuff. And honestly, yeah, I agree. I reached my musical peak in high school, but the things that, like, it gave me opportunities now that people are like, oh, you're from Medfield? Oh, that's a great music program there. And they're like, oh, you could do that? I'm like, oh, I don't know. But, like, when I do it, it's like all that learning and all that experience, like, it was easy for me to transition into that, like, professional, I don't know, non-professional kind of like just music making, and it has been amazing. So I'm very appreciative for what I've been given here.
Yeah, likewise, I'm extremely appreciative of the opportunities from Medfield. Like really, I think this was true for all the groups. There's really a good camaraderie of the groups. Like we all become good friends. Like I know I met a lot of my closest friends through orchestra. Still very good friends with them through the music trips, and the opportunities are really unparalleled, especially compared to many other music departments in other schools. So absolutely incredible opportunities. Yeah, I never once considered stopping. And like going to college, like it was probably a half second to decide I wanted to do cello in college. I decided before I was even at high school. But yeah, it's just the opportunity it provides. Besides just waking up in the morning, orchestra and band, but just really it's a great stress relief, and I just can't picture. I couldn't picture my college experience without it, and I couldn't picture my high school without it either.
Yeah, it's a really good stress reliever. Like band for me, it's every day, Monday through Friday, 4:40 to 6:10 exactly, and after that we all get dinner together. And when kids go to college, they don't really think about, well, who am I going to eat dinner with? Well, you can make friends out of desperation on your freshman year floor, or you can make friends out of mutual interest with people you love and you work with. And that's what I love about band. I have people to eat with. I have, a building to call home. And it's definitely great that we've had the opportunity to work with great teachers like Mr. Dexter and Mr. Olson for so many years, and they really get to know us. And they really empowered us, and that's what made me so confident in college.
Can you talk about you guys in terms of when you think back to 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, and on, when you think about the different challenges you had to overcome, like to keep going and keep yourself motivated, how did you do that?
Well,
like what advice would you give the younger kids?
Well, I started off with trumpet in 5th grade, and in 7th grade, when Mr. Dexter asked me to switch to French horn, I was like, do I want to do band anymore now? Because I don't want to make this transition. But that transition was one of the best decisions I made, because my French horn family that I made throughout high school, absolutely amazing. I still talk to them today. That's like my miniature family in band. I'm blanking out right now. Can you repeat what you...
Challenges.
Challenges. Okay. So I didn't really get to do a lot of the singing aspect until senior year when I joined chorus. Jazz choir was a great way for me to do that. That was a group that it was after school. It was just so much fun to be in. I think it's the a cappella group now, right? Yeah. Oh, it's both. Okay. I don't. But just putting it's kind of because I was the only person in my grade senior year that did chorus, so it was kind of why didn't anyone else do it? It was such a good place, but it was kind of like, do I join because I would be the only one, or do I do it because it'll be fun? And I'm so glad I did, because it was so much fun.
And they all benefited from you being there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Challenges for me. Which instrument to choose back in 5th grade. I saw one girl playing trombone, and I'm like, that one doesn't have any buttons, so I'm gonna play that one. So, and I did, and there was never a shortage, like there was never like too many trombone players, so I never was asked to switch. And I'm glad I kept with it, because Christina and I became very close, and then eventually someone else switched to trombone, and us 3 girls, Rachel, Thornton, Christina, and I, when we went and did jazz band together, we communicated really well, and we won Outstanding Trombone Section. We were the first all-girls section to get that, which was really special at the essentially Ellington competition. And I'll never forget that. Another challenge would be, like, do I want to continue with band? Like, practicing is pretty annoying. Well, it's worth it, because I got a nicer trombone because I told my mom I would practice, and I did, and I started doing well. And then I got to join jazz band. I wasn't sure, like, if I wanted to do it. It's a lot of time. Well, same thing with dinner. Our section would eat together, and that was a special friendship that we made, and then we worked together as a team better because of that. And it was more of, like, I didn't really doubt doing it, because I knew it was a constant group. It's a constant team. And maybe I'm not, like, the best of friends with the people who I was with, you know, throughout those years, the people in my grade, but I'm still really close to them. And I feel like we can just pick up where we left off, because we were such good teammates. And I think that's for me, like, the challenge of, do I want to keep doing it? It's a lot of time. Well, even this year, back at, like, I was having, like, some anxiety, and my mom said, well, you're taking too many classes, why don't you drop band? I'm like, no, that's where I have fun, that's where I get to let loose. It's the people who, like, build me back up. And that's what band has always been for me.
Yeah, I never had that many real challenges per se. I knew I was going to do cello pretty soon. From, like, the instrument demos, that's the cello, and that's what I want to do. And then I think I put down, when you have your instrument choice, I put down cello 3 times. Don't copy me, you're not supposed to do that. But yeah, it's just, I knew I wanted to do it so early on. Going into high school, there was a brief question of whether I wanted to audition for chamber. I had the question of, like, oh, is it going to be too much time? I'm going to be taking tough classes, but you'll always fit it in. It's always worth it. It didn't turn out to be that difficult time-wise. I was always able to practice, and even then, I'm glad I made room for it, because as we mentioned, it's a big stress relief, and it's so great to go from homework for hours to hanging out with your friends, working on pieces.
Yeah, it's called playing, not working.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of people, they're like, a challenge was people saying, like, you have no time for anything. And I'm like, well, that time is being put into something that gives me happiness. And, like, it's like a time to just be who I am and just make music. And it was perfect. Like, that time, I couldn't take it back.
It's time management that you learn.
Yes.
Yeah, it is
You learn time management.
A lot.
And now I can't sit still unless I'm doing, like, 10 different things.
And you find out who you are through doing that as well.
Yeah.
As far as fitting things in, any issues with, you know, taking band or taking something else where there, you know, because not as, you know, there's time issues, but there's also, you got to choose what you're going to take.
Yeah, in high school, I'm still soured that I did not get to take modern world conflicts, but I chose, you know, to have an independent study instead. And I chose to have band instead. And it was, I still think it's worth it. I still found out about modern world conflicts that were going on.
Another honest, this is a weird thing, but having your day start with music, it was such a great way to just go right into the school day. Having this be like how you start school, it's such a relaxing time. You're like, okay, let's just start the day, make some music, and then I can go on with the day. It's kind of like a leave your baggage out of the door and just come in and just start your day fresh.
And that's just something else that, it's like a little thing that Medfield has instilled into me is this empowerment that I have, that I can do anything.
Yeah, and I think I've definitely benefited. I know I was in like a leadership role in the orchestra, but like being able to plan large-scale events. Like I know I helped plan pubs last year, various orchestra outings, we called them. Like I felt way more comfortable joining like the executive board of a club in college. Like I know I could handle the organization, I could handle the management, I could get people to all work towards a goal and accomplish stuff, and it's great that way as well.
Yeah.
Can you guys talk about the sort of a little bit of the process, the college search when you're looking for schools, if you're not a music major? Can you talk a little bit about what you looked for as part of that search when you were starting to look for schools, and then also how you sought out the opportunities either before or while you were there, and then the transition that took place between here and, musically between here and college?
So when I looked at schools, I just wanted a way to just do music. I didn't care if it was going to be band or if it was going to be chorus or anything like that. I just wanted a way to make music. And where I am now, there were so many groups that you could join, so I was like, I don't know which ones to choose. So it's good to have options, and just auditioning for anything that you can put your name on a list, it's the best thing to do, because you never know who you're going to hear back from, who you're not going to hear back from. You just got to put your name out there and see what happens, because that's the best way to do it.
For my college process, I definitely applied to a lot of schools. I recommend taking the ACT as well as SAT, because the ACT is what helped me get into UMass, because my SAT score was not as good as my ACT score. And when I was touring UMass, I got in contact with a Medfield alum, and that helped me see she was part of, it was Grace Murray, she was part of the band, I had another friend in the band from Boy Scouts, so my Boy Scout camp friends are telling me to do UMass marching band, and I was like, I don't know, I've never done really like a real marching band before. And then other people were telling me, well, look at the wind ensemble, look at the symphony band. So when I was on a tour there, I got in contact with a friend, and then I got to sit in and watch that class, the symphony band, and that was pretty cool. And I got to eat the dining commons, UMass dining number 1. And then I got to see the marching band rehearsal, and it was not scary. And I just remember it being like, well, there's music here. And then when I got accepted to 2 schools I really wanted, so it was UMass and Smith. And I was like, well, I'm undeclared, so I don't know if I want to go to Smith, being unsure. And then UMass has this really cool marching band that I know if I join, I'll have a lot of friends, and I can do that and be happy. And I can always just transfer to Smith if it didn't work out. So I ended up falling in love with UMass because I was really nervous to go. I was not sure because of the band. And the band has made me happy at UMass, and I would definitely recommend finding a way to see if a school has music. So get in contact with an alum. They'd love to see you there. I remember Micah Grinnell came to tour UMass, and I'm like, come to the marching band, I want you to be here. And then he chose Champlain instead. But that's how I got involved with UMass. Was a lot of people telling me, who are already in the marching band, do it. And I was like, I don't know. And then I got into UMass, and I chose it. And I'm glad I made that decision, because I did not love UMass at first.
So I will say, for me, it was a little tough trying to gauge the music programs in different schools. You could see on the website, they have these groups, but sometimes it's tough. Okay, so the group is at this level. Obviously it's going to be a step up to college, but is this something that I'm prepared for? And is this something where I'd be able to join even my first year? Because as I said, I wanted to do music. That was one of the core things I was looking for in college. So it was critical. So it's trying to gauge that, and you really got to be careful to ask more than the tour guides. You're saying, find someone at the school. If you have a contact, use it. Or even email the director and just ask, are there openings? Sometimes there could be a wait list or something. There's way too many people wanting to join for limited spots. Just really dig and make sure you can fit. And I will find most schools you can, but you also have to consider, especially as a non-music major, are these groups dominated by music majors where if you're not practicing 4 hours a day, you can't keep up?
Yeah.
So it's very tough trying to gauge the skills of groups. My private teacher helped a little with that. Mrs. Evans helped as well. But you really got to be sure when you're applying, you know how the program is, and you know there's going to be a spot for you if that's something that's important.
Yeah.
And if you do decide you want to do it in college, you really need to start prepping months in advance. Like I started before even the summer. You need the private teacher, and you really need to devote your time, devote your summer getting ready for that audition. But I think you guys can agree it's worth it once you're in.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different ensembles out there. I just can't imagine going from high school where, let's see, I've been in music since 5th grade. Am I gonna just drop it all of a sudden? I don't want to do that. Trombone's always been part of my life, and it's brought me to so many cool people. Like even people who I met at the jazz symposiums with Foxborough and KP through like Medfield High School. Some of the people from Foxborough came to UMass, and now I know them. And now, my music world is that much smaller, and I have a lot of great people that like different backgrounds that I know.
How do you feel about your level of preparedness from going from Medfield into music in college?
Honestly, for me, it's crazy because some of these people still don't know how to read music, and I'm like, what? I'm not, compared to most other people, they consider me to be like an expert on some of these things, and I'm like, isn't this what most programs teach you? And it's like, it's kind of nice to see like, this is what I've been given, and it's kind of like a gift because other people go to me like for music help, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know I knew this much, but this place really teaches you everything that you need to know to prepare yourself.
So you didn't have to stress out?
No, it was great. It was like, wow, this is nice. I could just make music.
I was very well prepared for the UMass marching band, and then I actually did some private lessons at UMass too, so that's why I joined the trombone studio. But I was well prepared for it. There was not a doubt.
Yeah, but I was absolutely very well prepared, and I also want to stress, a lot of that preparation was from more smaller group playing. Like for me, it was chamber ensemble, and it could be jazz band or jazz choir, where you're really listening to the group more and being more critical yourself. For me, that was one of the biggest differences. Is that you hear something that's a little off or something balance-wise, you're expected to fix it, not necessarily with the director. So it's really listening very critically to the whole group and hearing more than just you playing the correct notes and rhythms, and really hearing the whole group, adjusting yourself on the fly. I mean, I definitely was very well prepared for that from like chamber. And it was, I was very, very well prepared musically. I had no issues whatsoever.
So if you had a 4th or 5th grader or 6th grade standing right here, or one of their parents, and they were like, oh, I don't know, it's hard work, I don't know whether I should continue, I don't know whether we should keep paying for the lessons, I don't know whether, we're on the fence.
You're playing 3 sports.
Yeah. What would you say to them? What would you want them to know about this, your experience?
Well, music is it's a whole another world. It's not just, it's completely different than the sports that people have to take and the like academic classes. It's a place where you get to grow as a human on another aspect of your life that you don't get to do on those sports teams or on those different things. It's one of those things that you kind of need in your life. You don't know it until you're out of it. You're like, I really wish I could go back to that, because that was such a point in your life where you're like, I love doing this, and you just find like your passion for something, and music is that passion.
The teamwork that you learn just by being part of music, you get smart for music, you get very smart. I think for me, I learned how to pay more attention, and that's helped me throughout my other classes. Being in band though, again, the mentor aspect of it, when you have other kids from other grades who can kind of just like be on your level and help you out with stuff, where if you don't want to like ask for help from a teacher, you don't really feel like that. There's a bunch of other students who take on that role, like here, like I'll show you, they'll take you under their wing. And you also learn some creative problem solving along the way. Like if one of your strings fell out in your trombone, which doesn't usually have strings, and you gotta tighten your screw. you find a way to do that. But I definitely am also well-traveled, so there's that. So, yeah.
I've never talked to anyone who's continued who like didn't regret it. However, I've talked to many people who wish they could have stayed and like kept at it. It's really such a great group. Like I know we've all talked about like the bonding aspect and meeting different people you wouldn't otherwise know, and getting all these, you said, teamwork skills, choose officers, like planning skills. It's all been just so great, and it's really just its own thing. And like I really can't imagine my experiences without it. Like it's been so long, but also it's been so fundamental to who I've become. And it does look great for college. It helps you become more well-rounded.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just absolutely no regrets. It really, it's just keep going. Honestly, it just gets better and better. Like up towards high school, everyone just becomes such great friends.
Yeah, you get friends, but I think I would say to like a 5th grade parent, you know, what about the confidence? Do you feel confident going out onto a stage and performing for your school? Being forced to do that over and over again makes you confident, and that's something you don't get through sports, and you don't have to compete with your friends because you get to work together and create something beautiful, and that's always been nice. You ever like close your eyes and like think of like different images that come into your mind when you hear a next piece of music? Well, I like being one of the people who's on stage giving that experience to others.